I'm Keanna.
And I'm D'Vonne.
And we're the Picketts. $18.
Yeah, so we were 18 when we first met.
I was 19.
Yeah. So
and you were 18. You were just about to turn 19.
In the club. Well, it started in the club, and then it led to social media, and then in person. So initially in the club.
And we had a mutual friend. She was my double mint, one of my best friends, and she knew D'Vonne, and so we were in the club every weekend, just about summer of 2009.
Right.
Oh, he said it since day one. Like, when I seen you, I knew you was the one, and played a little game, kind of like, my friend's into you, and he's like, who's your friend? And I'm like, she's in my profile pictures, and I was the only one in my profile picture, so.
I ain't gonna lie, I was juiced when I seen it was you, because I already liked you, but I was just like, all right, then, well, it's another friend, so we gonna just make it work. But when I seen it was her, I was like, oh yeah. So, no, I definitely felt like it was divine timing. We was just young, but we knew that something just led us in a direction of like just keep going. So it let us ultimately get to where we at. So
it was right away.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was right away, because like we had both. I had dealt with a breakup and like basically had time to like heal from those things, and her the same thing. So it's like when we met each other, we were in a space where it was like we were just free, you know what I mean? So when we met and we just clicked from the beginning, and like I would be at her house, and then before you know it, we getting groceries, and then before you know it, we moved in together.
And I had my own place.
She had her own place. I was digging that. I'm like, okay. So I would say, yeah, right away, but it's just basically, when you're dealing with somebody, you get to see if like their willingness and their openness with you. And from day one, I feel like she was just always all in and open to do whatever, Basically, it's up to me to lead at that point.
And we talked about it. We were like, what are we doing here? Is this like friends with benefits? Are we just dating around? Are we actually trying to take this like long term? And it was like, we're in it for the long run. So we knew that we weren't playing games from the beginning.
Yeah, it was just like the vision was clear, we didn't know exactly what that was going to look like, but we were like, we're going to just rock it out. So she was a big part of me graduating from high school and like finishing and getting my degree and all that, because I had basically stopped going to school for some time, and then once I got injured in basketball my senior year, met her. So she was like a breath of fresh air, because I was basically at a time where I was heavy in the streets and just on some different stuff, you know what I mean? So when I met her, it was like a breath of fresh air.
It was fun, and it was like a really good experience to go together. So we, because I was already at Highline, and so then when we went down to Arizona, we drove down. It was 28 hours. We packed up our car, and like we chose not to live on campus because we wanted to live together. And so it was like we were maturing at a really fast pace and like learning it together, and yeah.
I think CAC was one of those. It was well needed, and it ultimately helped us to come back here. It kind of prepped us, so to speak.
There was no ring at the proposal.
We were on rice and beans at the time. I was just like, look, this is out of all love. You know what I mean? When we get there, we're going to be able to do it. But
we rocked out. We went and got the biggest, fakest ring at Walmart in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, Arizona. That was a classic.
I couldn't wear it every day because it would turn my finger green, but
yeah,
it was nice. And we bought the shades, and we was feeling like,
yeah. Yeah, it was just more like we knew we could laugh at this, like looking back, you know what I mean? So now we've upgraded, of course, and yeah, it felt good. Definitely felt good when we finally did get one. We were like, all right. But for us, it's always been about, it's bigger than just a material thing. Even how we got married, we went down to downtown and got married, just me and her. So
12.
Yeah, that part. But then we had a ceremony and all that, but yeah, it's just always been about me and her really in a deep connection. So it's just, the stuff will get greater as we continue to elevate.
I would say communication is probably like the number one most important thing, because communication, which he went to school for, which I always joke and be like, I went to school for it too, because I was there with him when he was studying and all that. But you find in communication that it's nonverbal, it's verbal, it's what you don't say when you say stuff, and what you say when you do say stuff. You know, it's all those things.
There's all these key factors, but when you're able to acknowledge them and know what they are, then you can address them, you can talk about it, and then ultimately with that big picture in mind of like legacy and family and just being about more than just something short term, basically.
I would say the most rewarding part about being married is just you have somebody to grow with. Even when you can feel alone, you know you're not alone. You're bound by law, but it's you hold each other accountable, and you have an accountability partner, and it's not you have to face issues like head on. And
I think, like she said, just being bound to someone and having like a partner that is like, it's there for you, and not just there for you in a way that like, someone like a friend could be. This is like a deeper level. So, I was just saying, knowing that you're not going to be 70 and alone is very, very rewarding. It feels good.
His tenacity, his grit, his drive. I love that. He's a diamond in the rough. He comes from the mud where I come from, and I love that even when I'm crazy and just crazy, that's the word. He's still there. My my lover, my best friend, so I love that.
I could just list a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I always just tell her she's a sweetheart. I just feel like she at the root of everything, she's a sweetheart. You know what I mean? I really love her because she loves all of me, which I feel like me being me, I know that there can be some challenges because I'm an alpha male and all that, but she definitely has loved me from the day I met her, and since we fell in love. And I would say just how smart she is and how beautiful she is, and just her willingness to like be more, and her like drive to be more. Like, I always admire how like where she comes from and how we both come from similar backgrounds, but it's like this is where we ended up and this is where we're at. And I feel like I like her openness to just really allow me to lead and like just be all the way in, and like it allows me to love her that much more. I feel like words I'm gonna fall short, but I definitely I love her dearly. I tell her all the time, and I feel like I show that in ways of just us doing stuff together, and just always wanting it to be known that like when you see me, that's her too, and just legacy, And I always tell her I really love her on a deep level because I just know her, so I think about her family and how her upbringing and all that, and I always tell her like I got you, because that's just how I am. And I think about like I'm really who her support is, and her like my family has become her family in a real way. And so yeah, I love her, man. I love her with all of me, you know what I'm saying? That part.
break out in song.
Yeah.
I would say we recover from arguing by just keeping it between us. Like, we don't go to social media. I'm not calling his mom, and like it's him and I. And so if that means we need space and go to the other room, or like he's gonna go work out, we give each other space. Then we can come back, and then we may even talk about it all over again, just to make sure points were made and there's understanding. And
yeah. No, I think that's, I just think like it's like just knowing the counterpart, you know what I'm saying? Like knowing what they need, because everybody's different. Like she might blow off some steam and be like, I'm taking a run. And it's like, where'd her mommy go? She just took off, you know what I'm saying? Me, I don't, sometimes I'll just take a drive or something, or, Yeah, I don't really know what I really do. Sometimes I'm more expressive, so I kind of let mine out within the household. She's more kind of like build up and then
shower crier.
Or just once she explodes, she just explodes. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, "Oh my!"
Because both of us, we don't like confrontation, so we're gonna avoid it for as long as we can.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like to say I'm the peacemaker, so it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Everything is good.
Black love, to me, is like we riding down the street, we listen to Nipsey Hussle,
there you go.
You
have to bring it out. Yeah, that part.
we playing basketball, like, you know, it's really it's the culture, and it's authentic, and it's like loving the skin you're in, because it's just many shades. And I would also say, like, Black love is like loving the struggle and like loving the success and kind of having that chip on your shoulder and like loving the process and feeling like we did this and
defining the odds. I think that's what we like to do, is like define the odds. So I think that could be added in Black love. I think love in general is by definition, it's like a strong affection for somebody. So I just think that it's it's just that, you know, it's like to love someone, you always giving them that extra blanket, that extra Band-Aid. You gon', you know, that extra piece of cheese. Like if it's only two, you gonna split it. You know what I mean? So love is having like that compassion and even that I would say that care, that withstand to even deal with someone. You know, because we all have that where it's like, man, I can go think for myself and do my own thing, but that love will ultimately keep a connection there if you got love. And I think yeah.
Yeah.
I know I love my lady.